What's up, guys? MMAGAME here, bringing you another video. This video is going to be the 8 gameplay features reveal. As you guys may have remembered, EA did a 8 days, 8 gameplay features where they said a bunch of hints, but didn't actually give away what the features were. So they actually released on their website today what the features are. And yeah, I'm just going to run through them pretty quick, all 8. The first one is the unprecedented fighter likeness. They say that every single fighter has been created with high-resolution 3D head and body scans to deliver revolutionary character likeness and authenticity. And it also says something interesting here about including facial animation technology that delivers more expressions, more emotion, and will communicate a greater sense of awareness and intelligence in the octagon. What I can only think that this means is in fights where guys, if they're really tired or they are hurt, they'll they'll gasp, huge breaths for air, stuff like that. That's all I can think of. If you guys can think of any other things that you could see them actually doing with this, let me know in the comments. As always, the next one, MMAI. This pretty much talks about the AI in the game being smarter, going to different game plans. If one game plan fails, it will go to a different one. It is the AI, a smarter AI, pretty much is what this means. So that's pretty much to be expected. Next one, full body deformation. And I actually was correct on this one, or semi-correct. What it means is when you're in submissions or grappling where the two guys are in contact with each other with their arms or their legs, that there's not going to be any space left in between each fighter, and the contact is going to be different than any other game. It's going to look and feel like, two objects are actually touching. It's not going to be space between or clipping involved. The other cool thing that it said is this comes into play when you strike. So if you hit someone in the body, you'll be able to see their body react to it, and like in a real fight. Also their face, you punch someone in the jaw, you're gonna be able to see it. So that's really cool. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of that one. Next one is called real-time exertion. This pretty much talks about the detail in the game, being able to see, the fighter's veins pop, skin distortion, muscle flex, as well as fatigue throughout the match. So that sounds really cool. You'll be able to really see the effort that's going into the fight, so that's cool. Next one is precise movement. In my opinion, this actually is going to be the biggest change, the biggest feature so far that we've heard from this game. And I will leave a link to the actual text where you guys can go to the website and see all these, read all the way through them. This is just a brief breakdown, but the movement is going to be key in this game. If it does not have good movement, then, it's not going to feel right. And listen to what they say. They're saying that they're eliminating unrealistic slipping and sliding across the canvas. More realistic, physics-driven movement delivers more realistic action as the overall transfer of energy from the ground up delivers more impactful and believable strikes and takedowns. And that is just really great news. It's probably the best news that we've heard so far. They're pretty much saying that movement in MMA games in the past have not been the best. That's true. I think it got a little bit better with UFC 3. They didn't move like crazy fast, but in general, the movement in UFC 3 is absolutely not there. There's no lateral movement. If you want to move side to side, it's really pointless. I mean, you can use it to cut off the cage somewhat, but it's just absolutely not very useful. So this game saying that it's based off physics, more realistic strikes, probably means that you're not going to be able to throw every kind of strike if you're moving a certain direction, just because it's really not possible. Like if you're moving backward, it's less likely that you can throw kicks. I mean, that's just how it works, and hopefully that's the case. So if you got a Muay Thai striker in there, you're going to want to back him up, get him moving backwards, and maybe he's not going to be able to land those head kicks or those leg kicks as often. So that's great news. Let me know what you guys think of that. In my opinion, that's the best news so far. But the next one is strategic submission battles, and this is actually good news as well. They pretty much say that they reinvent the ground game and to create a battle for position and control that captures the strategy of a submission battle. And they say that when you're in a submission, you're going to have to work through stages of the submission. So it's not going to be like past games where you press submit and then they're now defending an armbar. When you hit the submit button, you're going to enter into a submission, and from there you're going to have to work to finish it. It's not going to you're not going to be put in just a crazy defense position right off the bat, which is really good, and I think it really balances out the submissions. This is extremely good news. It's going to add a lot of skill, more depth, a lot more depth to the game overall, especially with the ground game. There's not just going to be your basic submit button, which is submit, now you're in a submission. I really like that. It's good news. And who knows, they may have like flash submissions where you'll be able to just if you're hurt or rocked, they'll be able to hop into a submission real quick. I can see them doing something like that. Let me know what you guys think of that. The next feature is real damage. And as a side note, they actually used BJ Penn in this image, which may not confirm, but kind of does confirm the fact that he will be in this game. I don't see them not putting BJ Penn in this game, especially if they're featuring him in the little image here. So that's great news for me. I love BJ Penn. What this pretty much says is one good shot can ruin your day. And more great news from this feature, pretty much confirming to me that the new UFC game by EA introduces a non-linear damage system which can result in big damage coming from a single strike. What this means is that they're moving toward the same damage system that EA MMA had, which was opposite of what UFC Undisputed was. What UFC Undisputed was, you have a fight, you over time inflict small amounts of damage to the head or body over and over and over again until the point of just it gets too damaged and then can no longer take any strike, which means you can end the fight with any little strike, which I absolutely hated, to be honest with you. The way that they're talking about here is that isn't the way MMA works. It just isn't. People don't get... There are fights where people get worn down little by little and then eventually finished off. But the majority of the time in MMA, it's a big shot that changes the fight. A strong power shot that's going to change the fight. Not a bunch of small little shots. It's usually one big shot that'll damage or change or alter the fight. And that's exactly what they have done with this. They also say that the system produces a greater variety of cuts that is true to life and has never been possible in a simulation fighting game. Great news. Better cuts, better blood. Cannot wait. The blood in UFC 3 was not realistic. I love this feature, the damage system, dynamic. You're going to have to be on your feet at all times. What happens in UFC 3 is if you're not hurt and the other guy's hurt, you really don't have anything to worry about. You're kind of just coasting and you don't really have much to worry about. This game is completely different. You're going to always have to be on your toes because, like they say, one shot can change the fight. That's what's good about this game, and I cannot wait to, have those comebacks where you're getting beat down, you're down and out, and then boom, you land that head kick, you land that overhand, and the fight is drastically changed, and it's just going to be great. Amazing, cannot wait. Next feature, dynamic striking. This feature, I have to say, I never even thought that they would incorporate something like this into this game, and honestly, it's just amazing. It's great, and I can't wait to see what they do with this, because what they say is never before in a MMA game have you been able to use the environment, take advantage of the environment, and they say in this game is the first time ever that you can actually do that. And what is in your environment in an MMA match is the cage. That is the environment. You're in a cage. That's the only environment that you could possibly use. And they say that you can pull off jaw-dropping moves using the octagon, including roundhouse kicks, Superman punches, and much more. Now, when they say much more, that's open. I mean, who knows what they've put in this game. They also say that you can combine the moves off the cage in the environment with just the best striking in the industry, and that one perfect strike could change the fight. Again, using your environment. I'm sure people will become used to it over time. It's just amazing. It just adds that extra layer of depth to the game, and that is the last feature. But just think of what they say when they say much more, using the cage. It's just great news overall. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of all these features. Make sure to leave a like on the video. Subscribe for all the EA Sports UFC news. Follow on Twitch TV and Twitter. Till next time, this has been MMA Game. Peace.